Start, sir.
Welcome you all for live session of Experimental Physics 3. So I will discuss some general questions students used to ask me. So and in the meantime, you can ask, in chat box, you can send your questions. I'll try to answer of your questions. So generally, student always worried about the examination. So this time in experimental physics 3, I think more than 1,000 students they enroll for this course, but number of students who are going to write the exam. So I saw this time is a very little number. One reason would be that this experimental physics 3 is hardest one among these 3 modules. You know that I have 4 courses in NPTEL. One is solid state physics, then experimental physics 1. So these 2 courses are running in autumn semester, and experimental physics 2 and experimental physics 3, these 2 courses are running in spring semester. So in coming autumn semesters, again experimental physics 1 and solid state physics, these 2 courses will run. So out of these 3 modules, experimental physics 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is designed for basically the first year, second year student, and module 2 is designed for third year student, and module 3, it is designed for basically these fourth year and fifth year students. So integrated MSc students. All this experiment, this our integrated MSc students who come in IIT Kharagpur for their integrated MSc, means after 12 class J, they come through advanced JE, and they have to study 5 years in IIT Kharagpur for their MSc degree. So all these, all the experiments they perform during these 5 years in different labs in IIT Kharagpur, except the nuclear physics and the electronics, all other labs, different experiments on general properties of matter, electricity, optics, then solid state physics, then modern optics, modern physics. So we have separate lab, and all these experiments are there for integrated MSc students. Also 2-year MSc. After BSc, some students, they take admission through JAM. They take admission for 2 years, MSc first year and MSc second year. So these students also, they perform the experiments with the integrated MSc students. So whatever the integrated MSc students in their third year, fourth year, fifth year, whatever the experiment they perform, this 2-year MSc students also in their first year, second year. So they also do perform the same experiment. So these 3 modules will cover all the experiments that integrated MSc students in IIT Kharagpur they perform. Okay. So these are very standard experiments. I am sure all of them also may not be all of them, but most of them are there in other university, other colleges. So one has to learn these experiments wherever students will study. So they have to learn all these experiments. So this was my opportunity to present to the broader audience whatever the experiments our student, means IIT Kharagpur students, they are performing. So you can think that if you can complete these 3 modules, I am sure that you will have confidence, and this confidence will help you in your life. Okay. So among these 3 modules, experiment 3 is the hardest one, where the experiments of modern optics and experiments of solid state physics are discussed, are demonstrated. All of them are very interesting. Definitely, experiments are not very easy, because it is for the MSc students. So you should not be afraid of it. You should try to understand. I try to discuss each and every experiment from the starting from the basic. So, but all video may not be very good. Reason is that I have demonstrated all of them. I may not be expert in each and every one. Okay. So there may be that some videos may not be very good to you. You may not like them, but you like or not, this is the experiment. It's the harder experiment, and one has to give time to learn it. So that time you must give, and you will get return. You will get return in your career. So what is my suggestion is that if you want to know really, if you want to learn experimental physics, okay, so this course, it is designed in such a way in three modules that if any student can complete these three modules, his basic knowledge in physics, I think it will be very strong, you know. So we are running these three modules along with the solid state physics in every year, two of them in this semester and two of them in next semester, spring and autumn semester. And it will run till 2023. It has been decided by the NPTEL platform. Okay. So this is a very good opportunity for you to complete this, at least these three modules, and if possible the solid state physics, that course, and you should get the certificate. Now NPTEL platform is not only our national platform, it become international platform, you know. It's expanded like anything, and it is acceptable to all of us in India and in some extent in abroad. Okay. So if you have this certificate, you will get confidence in your subject. That is there all the time. It will be there. But apart from that, this certificate may be useful in future for your career. So that's what, from my experience, I am suggesting you that this is a good opportunity NPTEL has given us. So you should exploit it. You should complete this experimental physics, not only module 3, module 2 as well as module 1 also, because these three modules together will give you the strong fundamental basis of your not only physics. I can tell this it's for your whole for whole science team. The students can be from chemistry, student can be from metallurgy, student can be from electronics. So for all students, whether students are doing BTech, whether students are doing this master degree or this bachelor degree, okay. So for all of them, this is very useful subject, and it has been designed for you only. An NPTEL giving opportunity, and that we should utilize for your future. And if you have any questions you may ask. I will try to answer. It's the questions may be subject related, or it can be general questions. If you have any questions in your mind I will try to answer of your questions, and you feel free to ask me so that I can answer and discuss with you. So another thing is that the students generally ask the which type of questions will be asked in exam. Okay, so the assignment you have submitted or you have seen. Okay, so this question paper for exam, it will be exactly similar. So some questions will be directly related with the assignment. Some questions will be conceptual. Whatever you have learned from this video, so from that knowledge, I am sure you will be able to answer those questions. So seeing the few number of students who have enrolled for exam, although they have registered for the subject, but few students have registered for the exam. So that should not be the case. I expect that many of you should give exam and try to take the certificate and keep with you, and this certificate will be useful for you. Apart from that, the knowledge you will get, the training you will get, at least one training from this course you will get, that how to approach for an experiment. When I'll go for performing experiment in laboratory, so before going to the laboratory, how you should prepare yourself for that exam, for that experiment. So first thing is that what is the aim of the experiment? What you want to get from this experiment? Generally, any experiment we find out some parameters that may be magnetic parameters, that may be electrical parameters, or dielectric parameters. Okay, so there is an aim for each and every experiment. So you should have clear idea about the aim of that experiment. Now, for that experiment, what is the theory? You will use working formula for that experiment. So you should have clear knowledge about the working formula, how it was derived, how it has come. So because that working formula you will use, that working formula is based on some model. Model always use assumption. So that assumptions that should be fulfilled in the experimental setup. Otherwise, this working formula will not be valid for that experiment. So what are the conditions for working formula? So those conditions has to be fulfilled in the experimental setup, or the procedure of taking data. Those conditions you have to fulfill. Otherwise, you will not be able to take the correct data, and then finally you will see this, you are not getting result. Okay. So you have to be really well prepared before going to lab for performing any experiment. So from this course, at least you should learn that how to tackle an experiment in the laboratory, and for performing experiment, what one should know. Okay. So one student here, Baban Shahani, he requested me to talk to Hindi. Shahani, it's difficult for me to speak in Hindi. Sorry for that. I can speak in Hindi, but I think it's not the right place to speak in Hindi, because my Hindi is not good. So I will avoid to speak in Hindi. So, but I don't know this. I am trying to speak in simpler English. So, and I am speaking slowly also. So you try to follow it. And you can write what is the, if you have any doubt, you can write to me. You can write probably in Hindi also, then I'll try to understand and tell you in English. Slowly I will tell, and in simple English, so it should not be difficult for you to understand. So what I was telling, that the benefit you will get from this course, it is enormous. It will give you confidence in science. It will give you confidence in future when you will go to work in industry, or in you will teach in school, college, or university. So this will be very useful in your career. So you try to complete this course. And what I was suggesting, that not only this experimental physics 3, there is a experimental physics 2 and experimental physics 1. In alternate semesters, we are running all these 3 modules along with solid state physics course. So you should exploit this opportunity to learn, to get the certificate, and I am sure that it will help you in future wherever you are, whether you will be in science or you will be technology, engineering. So this will be very helpful, and the opportunity of getting this course, how long it will be available to you, I don't know, because that will depend on the NPTEL platform. But so far it is decided that all of these my four courses, solid state physics, experimental physics 1, experimental physics 2, experimental physics 3, these four courses will rerun till 2023. So you have opportunity to take all these four courses and complete it and keep the certificate with you. The experimental physics 3, as I told you, is the hardest one compared to experimental physics 1 and 2. So you should not be afraid. You have to give more time. You have to listen the video few times to understand. And of course, whatever the things I have not discussed much, but I assume that you know it, but it may happen that it is not known to you. So you should consult with books and learn the things from that book, basic things you should learn from the books. Whatever you are not getting from this video, so as a complementary, you have to take help of the books. Like some students ask me that that I have not discussed about the interference, basic phenomena of interference, or some basic phenomena about the polarization. Okay, so there I assume that very basic concept of interference that students have. So that's why maybe I have omitted that one. I have avoided. So this I gave you example. So if this kind of things you feel, so immediately what you should do, you should consult with books and just try to learn that basic part of the book so that you can understand the video. Okay. So I don't see any other questions except Baban Shahani. So if you have question, you may ask me. I am here to answer of your questions. And in general way, I try to tell you about the exam you are going to appear. So standard of the questions in exam, it is almost same standard of assignment, and it is MCQ type. So if you are familiar with the assignment, so it will not be difficult for you to write in exam. So many of you have registered for this course but not giving exam. But always I suggest that you should give exam and take the certificate, keep with you, and that may be useful in future. This opportunity you may not get because these courses are rerunning by NPTEL. How long it will rerun, we don't know. So if you have not registered for exam, so this time you cannot give exam because this registration is closed. So I will suggest you should again take this course and write the exam in next time, because in next year again in autumn, in spring semester, this experimental physics 3 along with the experimental physics 2 will rerun, and in next semesters solid state physics and experimental physics 1 that will rerun. So for this experimental physics 3, it will be very helpful for you for solid state physics, because half of the experiment in this experimental physics 3 is from solid state physics laboratory. So if you take this course, it will be helpful for solid state physics, or other way also it is true. If you take the solid state physics, it will be helpful for you to understand this experimental physics 3. Okay, so experimental physics 3 and solid state physics, this there is a connection, because this I have taught these both. So the theory whatever I have discussed in solid state physics, so that concept will be useful for the experiment of solid state physics. So half of the experiments in this module 3 from the solid state physics, and half of the experiment is from the modern optics. Okay, so that part modern optics, if someone complete this experimental physics 2, then for them it will be helpful to understand the experimental physics, this modern optics part of this experimental physics 3. Okay, so all together experimental physics 1, 2, 3 and solid state physics, I think they are complementary with each other. So we are running these 4 courses in alternate semesters, and my suggestion, it is, I am telling from my experience, my suggestion, you try to complete these 4 courses and you will get benefits out of it. So if you have no other questions, I will stop here. I wish you very, very bright career in futures. I wish you a grand success. So with these wishes, I will stop here. Thank you.
Okay, sir, you can leave.